Good evening, everyone. I'm audible to everyone. If you're getting a voice, please reply. So once again, good evening, everyone. Today we are starting with the continuous topic of what we were teaching in the last two lecture. So we have already joined. So only 2-3 student, 1 student, 2 student have been joined as of now. Okay. So please join so we can start. Okay, so once again, good evening, everyone. Pencil. Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. Today we are starting the various modes of international businesses. So in the last two lecture, if anybody is having any doubt, please ask. Okay, so हम लोगों ने बात कर लिया तो we have discussed about what is business environment and what are the globalization we have discussed and what are the factors of globalization we have discussed, and apart from that we have also discussed about the environmental scanning. So till now, it's whatever I have told you. If anybody is having any doubt, so please you can ask to us. So otherwise, if nobody is having any doubt, so can we proceed further? So before starting the very next lecture, we should have the nature of business environment we have discussed, and this is also we have already discussed. That is all about the environmental scanning and integration of the economies we have already discussed. The drivers of globalization we have already discussed. So today we are starting with the globalization's drivers, because in the last lecture, though there was some certain technological problems, so we cannot take the classes from this screen. So that is the only reasons. Again, I'm just starting with the globalization's drivers, what actually we have. So before starting with the drivers of the globalization, firstly we should have basic idea about what is the globalization. So globalization is integration of the economy. Okay, means whole world will come under the single umbrella. Okay, means suppose that you are sitting at India, you can do trade with the person who was sitting at the last corner of the world. So the more the impact of the globalization, the more the interdependency has been increased so far since the globalization came into the existence in across the globe. So that is the only reasons we have to be concerned about the what are the various drivers of the globalization we have. So we have the market drivers, we have cost drivers, we have competitive drivers, we have government drivers. Okay, so we'll try to complete the all the drivers in a one by one. So we are starting with the market drivers. Whatever the market drivers we have. So what is market drivers? Market drivers is all about whatever the market factors which is actually accelerating the growth of the globalization, accelerating the growth of the market, accelerating the growth of the economy. That is called market drivers. So what are the factors we have to be look? What are the factors we have to be look while talking about the market drivers? We have per capita income converging among the industrialized nations. Okay, means suppose that you just want to be entered in some certain countries, means you are sitting at a US and your company, your multinational corporation belongs to the US, and you just want to be entered in a suppose that the country where the per capita income is a low. So So that is the only reasons whenever we are planning to enter in a new market as to expansion of our businesses, we have to be careful about the per capita income. What is the per capita income? Total national income of the country divided by the population is called per capita income. I'll tell you during the what we call national income. Per capita income is all about PCI, national income of the country divided by the population is called per capita income. So whenever we are planning to expand our businesses, expansion of our businesses, we have to be careful. We have to be careful about the per capita income. Okay. So we should not target those countries where the per capita income is the low, because depending on the product to product, if you are going with a very luxurious product, you are high value products, the cost of the product is very high. So we should have always target those countries where the per capita income is very high. If you are coming with the in the last lecture we have told you regarding the scheming strategy, SKIMMING, scheming and penetration. So being a marketer, this is our basic responsibility. We should have the basic idea about the pricing. Means whether you want to use the scheming strategy or you want to use the penetration strategy. Okay, if you are going with the scheming strategy in the market, then what we have to do? We have to be think about the what actually we have to do? We have to be think about the per capita income of the country. Malab means if you want to be sell the high value product, so that is the basic responsibility of the marketer. We have to be analyze the per capita income of the country. Got it? Second is the convergence of lifestyle and taste. Yes, we have to be more concerned about the lifestyle and taste, because in every country of the world, they have the different perceptions, differences in attitudes, difference in the lifestyle. So this is our basic responsibility. We should have make sure about the preferences, lifestyle, taste of the customers. Second, organizations beginning to behave as a global customer. So being in a multinational corporations, we have to behave just like a global customer, and we have to be customize the product in such a manner so we can sell the same product in across the globe. That is called sometimes global product. Okay, one size fit at all. You must have listened. One size fit at all means you are customizing means you are making one standard products for across the globe. Okay, and next, increasing the treble, creating the global consumer. It's very simple. Growth of the global and regional channels. Yes, the channels we are discussing about the supply chain management. We are discussing about. So means what is the channels? What is the marketing channels or what is the distribution channel? These are all three things are same: marketing channels, distribution channels, and supply chain management. The basic functions of these three terminology what actually I used to distributing the goods from one person to the final customer. So growth of the global and regional channel, because in a present scenario, if you just want to be make sure and you just want to be make certain profit and just want to take certain competitive advantages, then what you have to do? You have to be build a very strong supply chain management. So that is the thing. We are more concerned about the whatever the global supply chain management you are using, or the whatever the local or regional distribution channel you are using. We have to be make sure about the strong supply chain management, because in a present scenario, if you just want to be take certain competitive advantage, yeah, we are talking about the top multinational corporations of the world. They became the global brand just because of one factor, that is called supply chain management. As we can see the examples of Amazon and Flipkart and some certain different e-commerce industries in India. We have more than the 3,000 e-commerce companies are running in India. But whenever we are planning to buy any product and services, so we have very few alternatives, because we are relying on the very few companies just because of their delivery services, their customer services, the quality of the products, there are order summary. So we have the being a customer, we are more concerned about the on time on-time performance, on-time delivery, quality of the products, quality of the services. So that is the only reasons all those companies who are running successfully in the market, they became the brand. They became the brand just because of the global or strong supply chain management. Okay. Next हो गया establishment of the world brand. Automatically, whenever you are selling your product within the certain geographical boundaries of the country, whenever you will increase your brand and across the globe. If suppose that you have started your businesses from Delhi and you just want to be sell your product in Hyderabad or Calcutta, while talking about the Indian market. Once you have established your brand in India, now you are looking for your expansion of your businesses across the globe. You have started your plant in Dubai or Saudi Arabia or some different countries. So automatically, whenever we are talking about the globalization, your brand will become the global. Okay. Next, push to develop the global advertising. Automatically, it's a very common phenomenon, very simple phenomenon to understand. If you're looking for to create the global brand, then what actually we have to do? We have to do certain global advertising. Okay, because suppose that we can see the example of any particular XYZ product. You just want to be sell your product in a suppose that different Middle East region. Okay, you are manufacturing a product in India and you just want to be sell a product in across the Middle East, Jordan and Saudi Arabia, Oman, Bahrain, Dubai. And so what actually we have to do? We have to do some certain global advertising also. Means if suppose that if you just want to be sell a product in a Middle East and you are putting your advertisement on a local or regional newspaper, so there is no sense of such advertising. Then we have to choose some certain medium, just like we can take the example of the aljazeera.com. Al Jazeera newspapers we have, which is actually global newspaper we have. So what actually we have to do? Okay, means suppose that you just want to create the global brand, we have to do certain global advertising. And apart from market drivers, second is the cost driver. In a cost driver, we have to be certain factors and the continuous push for economy of scale. Yes, we have to be what actually we have to do. We will try to achieve the economy of scale. I think I started this lecture in the last lecture we have discussed about the economy of scale. What is all about the economy of scale? Economy of scale is all about the mass production. Okay, so we just want to be in every country and every company of the world. They always look to achieve the economy of scale, because in an economy of scale we always go with the low cost product. Simple, because mass production always reduce your fixed cost. If your fixed cost will be reduced or decrease, your automatically product cost will be decline. So continuous push for the economy of scale, we always try to achieve the economy of scale. Second, accelerating the technological innovation. Yes, whenever we are more focusing on the research and development, we have started using the advanced technology, automatically your growth will be increased. Advances in a transportation, yes, we have to use the very highest and the very quickest and the simplest transportation mode. We have the different transportation mode available in the market, whether we have to choosing the air or ship or certain road transport, rail transport. We have a number of the transportation modes are available in the market. We have to take the decision depending on the product to product, depending on the durability of the product. While talking of the consumer durable, you can take the risk for the 3 months or 4 months. While talking about the perishable items, if you have or medicine where the certain expiries of particular product is there, then we have to use a certain different transportation mode. Then emergence of newly industrialized countries with the productive capabilities and low labor cost. Yes, we always try to target those countries where we can achieve the comparative cost advantage. What is the comparative cost advantage? Comparative cost advantage theory has given by the David Ricardo. What actually he used to say? He has focused on the minimization of the cost. Means we should target those countries where the overall cost of factor production is minimum. So we should target those countries where the productive capacity is already available and where the low labor cost, like China, like India. In India, population is very much high, and while talking about the skilled labor and the unskilled labor, India is having the highest number of skilled labor and highest number of skilled labor and the unskilled labor. In a very minimum amount, you can get the certain MBAs or technical educations, graduates, BTech. Okay. So that is the thing. We have some certain cheapest skilled labor in India and the unskilled labor. Next, increasing the cost of product development relative to the market life. Simple. Next, government drivers. What are the government factors which is actually impacting on the globalization, and what are the government factors which is actually accelerating the growth of the economy, accelerating the growth of the particular company? So government drivers, reduction of tariff barrier. What is tariff barrier? Studies lecture I have told you. Taxes and duties. So whatever the taxes and duties we are imposing on the international trade, that is called tariff barriers. Okay. So if government will slash down, government will decrease the tariff barriers, government will decrease the charges of the taxes, what actually they are imposing, automatically there will be a higher chances of productivity, higher chances of the growth, higher chances of movement of FDI, movement of multinational corporations from developed country to the developing countries to the LDCs, and LDCs to underdeveloped countries. So automatically tariff barriers plays a very key role. We always try to target those countries where the tariff rate is very minimum, or because if this tariff rate or what we call if tariff rates are very complex, we should not target those countries. Then reduction of non-tariff barriers. Tariff barrier which we are imposing on the basis of quantitative, and non-tariff barriers which we are imposing on the basis of qualitative. I'll tell you these particular things during the World Trade Organization when I'll teach. So what is non-tariff barrier? I'm just describing in a one line. Whatever the barriers we are imposing on the basis of quality, on the basis of taste, on the basis of color, on the basis of preferences, that is called non-tariff barriers. I'll tell you these particular things. Next, creation of the blocks, that is regional economic integrations. I'm just discussing about REI is again one of the important topics of particular UGC NET in international business and economics. So I'll tell you these particular topics. Government tries to create certain blocks so there can be free movement of labor and capital, there can be free movement of certain businesses. Okay. Decline in the role of government as producers and customers. Yes, if the government will not be intervene, I have already told you regarding the market environment. A government will be poking their nose in every single aspect for the consumers and for the producers. So chances of productivity is very minimum. Then privatization in the previously state-dominated economies. Yes, we should focus on the privatizations. Then shift to open market economies from the closed economies. Yes, what actually we have done during the economic reforms in 1991, what we have done, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So we should start opening up of our economy. Okay, suppose that your economy is closed. You don't want any interventions from the different multinational corporations of the world. So sometimes in a short run you can get certain benefit for your organizations, benefit for your country, benefit for your companies. But while talking about the long run businesses, we will not be able to get certain success in the market. So that is the only reason. What actually we should prefer. We should have open our economy from the close. Okay. Next is increasing the participation of the China and India in the global economy. As we know, since last 30-40 years, India and China is one of the booming market, one of the booming economy in the world. Next, other drivers, revolution of the information and the communication, that by IT. Yes, since last 10 years and 15 years, a business model has been drastically changed. Then competitive drivers. Competitive drivers is all about we are making the policies on the basis of different. Like Continue increase in the level of world trade, yes. Increase the ownership of corporations via foreign acquires, yes, it has been increased. Rise of new competitors intent upon the becoming the global competitor, very simple. Growth of global network making the countries interdependent in particular industries. More companies becoming the global centered rather than the nationally centered. Yes, we should target our companies so they can become the global centered rather than the nationally centered. I'll tell you this particular thing during the EPRG model. When I'll tell you the EPRG model, then I'll tell you. Globalization of the financial market we have, improvement of business travel. Okay, so these are the four basic drivers of globalization. Now we are moving towards threats and opportunities. Now conditions for globalization we are more concerned about. I'll be sharing with this particular PPT after once all three lecture will be complete, then I'll be sharing this particular PPT. Okay, now what are the conditions for globalization? When we are looking for the globalization across the globe, we just want to be we just want to be entering a new businesses. So without these factors, there is very least possibilities of globalization. First is business freedom, yes. No unnecessary government restrictions like restrictions on sourcing of fund, other factors from abroad, and the liberalization is the first step that actually we are discussing about since the very first lecture. There should be certain business freedom. There should be certain facilitators. There should be certain government support we have discussed. There should be some certain resources like money, like material, like labor, like capital we have. Competitors should be there. Without the competitors, you will not be able to get certain success in the long run. So this is what is all about the certain conditions we are requiring for globalization. Now, this is the core topic actually. Now, so this is what actually we have teach you since last 3-4 lecture. Now we are moving towards what are the reasons for entering in a global market. There are a number of steps that need to be taken before you decide to the international market. First, analyze the international marketing environment. We have already discussed. A pastel or a step, both are the same thing. Pastel analysis need to be conducted on the market you enter to assess the whether it is a worthwhile or not. Means without doing the marketing environment, we should not enter in any market. Simple. Now, you have certain idea what is the benefit to entering in a new market. What are the factors we have to be analyzed? We have concern about the internal factors we have discussed. We have discussed about the micro factors. We have discussed the macro factors. We have done certain environmental scanning also. Now, after analyzing these many things, now we are planning to enter in a international market. Now, what are the various modes to enter in an international business? This is what actually topic. Various options to go in an overseas market. First is direct exporting. Indirect exporting we have. Franchising we have. Licensing we have. So, we'll try to complete all these 7-8 modes of international business in a one by one. Firstly, the direct exporting we have. What is the direct exporting? Means suppose that you are manufacturing a product in India, directly you are exporting to the China. That is called direct exporting. Means the organization produce their product in their home country and then sell them to the customer overseas. Simple. Home country where the company belongs, host country where you just want to be sell your product. So means simple, you are manufacturing, you are producing certain products in your country and directly you are exporting in a different market. It's called direct exporting. Indirect exporting, the organization sell their products to a third party who then sell its own within the foreign market. Sometimes due to certain geographical differences, certain political differences, certain border clashes, what actually we do, we tries to involvement of the third party. Okay, then we try to sell our product. Like suppose that if India and Pakistan is having certain border clashes, what actually we have seen in real life after the Pulwama attack, we have withdrawn the most favored nations quota from the Pakistan, and apart from the MFN quota, we have stopped doing certain trade. So sometimes what actually we have to do while doing certain indirect exporting, suppose that there are certain classes between India and Pakistan, and whatever the product you are making, which is actually able to sell in only Pakistan market, then what you can do, you can make involvement of the Bangladesh. I mean, you are exporting a product to the India to Bangladesh, then Bangladesh to the Pakistan. Means selling a product through certain indifferences or certain intermediate channels. Okay, you just want to be enter in a Pakistan market while exporting a product, you can get it the certain involvement of the Pakistan, involvement of Bangladesh or certain Afghanistan or different countries. Then licensing, we have less risky market entry method is licensing. Here the licensor will grant the organizations in a foreign market a license to produce the product, use the brand name, etc. In return, they will receive a royalty. Software companies, pharmaceuticals companies, in a licensing, what actually we have to do? Suppose that you just want to be entered in a foreign market, then what you can do? You can take the license from some different company and you can start the businesses. Means, because what actually happen in terms of the pharmaceutical industries or in terms of the software companies or technological companies, very few persons they have some certain patent. Okay, they have some certain patent on their technology, and you just want to be use those technology. Then what we have to do? We have to take the certain license from those companies who are having the certain patent, certain intellectual property right. What actually we can say, because they have some certain rights. So being in a marketer, what we can do? We have to pay some certain royalty to the person who is having the license. He will grant the license for a certain period of the time, and accordingly we have to pay the royalties. Okay. Next is the franchising. It's a very common. McDonald's, Domino's, and the CCD, KFC. There are n number of the multinational corporations. Not actually, we are also doing like working on the franchising model. So what we can do in a franchising? Suppose that you have created your brand in a market. You just want to be entered in a market in America. Okay. Okay, and you just want to be entered in a food market. You suppose that there are very few companies, they have already established brand in India, established brand in a US. Then what you can do? You can take the franchisee of those companies. You can take the franchisee of those companies and you can start your business in your own country also. So in a franchisee, suppose that you just want to be entered in a new market. What you can do? You can start distributing your franchisee also. In a buyer's perspective and the seller's perspective, both I'm just talking about. Suppose that you are in your company is India based and you just want to be expand your business across the globe. Then what we can do? We can create the brand of the particular product and services in India. Then accordingly we can sell the brand name. In a franchisee, what actually happened? Rules and regulation has been followed by the parent company. Suppose that I'm just taking the franchisee of the McDonald's and Domino's. Then what actually we have to do? We have to follow the rules and regulation which is actually prescribed or has been made by the McDonald's. So, and in what actually we have to do while talking about the franchising, we have to pay certain cost. And apart from the cost, we have to pay certain regular royalties also. Okay. So in a franchising, we have to pay some certain one-time cost, and apart from this, we have to work on the certain ratios also. But rules and regulation always regulated by the parent company. Next is the contracting. The manufacturer of the product will contract out the productions of the product another organization to produce the product on their behalf. So it's a very common phenomena that is called contracting. Since last 10 15 years we have seen so far most of the companies they are working on the contracting. What they actually doing, that is called 3PL on third party logistic and fourth party logistic. Means what we can do, we can outsource certain work. We can give certain works to different countries. Okay, so there are a number of the outsourcing industry. They are working like this. They are working on certain practices. They are providing some certain services. Few companies are providing certain technological services. Few companies are providing certain transportation services. So starting your plant might increase your cost, might increase your risk. Then what actually we do? We can go with a certain contracting, then subcontracting. And then FDI is all about very simple. Ultimate decisions to sell abroad is the decisions to establish a manufacturing plant in the host country. The government of the host country may give the organizations some form of the tax advantage because they wish to attract inward investment to help create employment for the economy. Means FDI is all about foreign direct investment we are talking about. Suppose that you belongs to India and just want to be entered in a business in a different market, then what we can do? You can go with your capital, you can start manufacturing of your plant in a certain countries. Okay. Suppose that Tata belongs to India, they have started certain manufacturing plant of their vehicles in a Dubai or some different countries. That is called FDI. So foreign direct investment is all about on the basis of certain government regulations. So if suppose that they have some certain relaxations, they have some certain benefits to start their businesses. So foreign direct investment is all about, in a simple line, if you have started your manufacturing facilities in a more than one country, it's called foreign direct investment. Means if you are directly investing your capital in a different countries. Then joint venture. Sometimes what actually we can do, you just want to be entered in a new market, what you can do, you can go with the joint venture, because joint venture reduce the competition, joint venture reduce the cost of the advertising, joint venture reduce the cost, joint venture reduce the risk also. Example, Maruti Suzuki we have, it used to be the Tata Docomo, it used to be the PNB MetLife, Tata Chorus. So we have the n number of the example of the Tata, n number of the examples of the joint venture. Suppose that A plus B is equal to AB. Please do remember, whenever we are talking about a joint venture, the name of the brand name will be one. Okay, means suppose that Maruti and Suzuki, they became the Maruti Suzuki. So in a joint venture, both the brand name will be regulated. Okay. So example, you should have remember the examples: Maruti Suzuki, PNB MetLife, Tata Docomo. Then merger and acquisition. There is a slightly differences between the joint venture and the merger. Merger, what is all? A plus B. Either A or B, sometimes C also. Merger means two companies will be merged in a one companies. So depending on their mutual understanding, they can use their, suppose that A and B are mixing. So they can use the brand name of A, they can use the brand name of B. Sometimes they can go with the new brand name, that it can be the C also. So it totally depends what actually you are using. The merger, if suppose that two companies are coming together, they started working together. That is called merger. Then last, acquisition. Acquisition is all about to acquiring certain person, acquiring certain companies. Like Vodafone acquired the Idea, Airtel acquired the Tata Docomo. Okay, so we have seen so many examples since last 15-20 years. Tata Motors acquired the Jaguar. So since last 15-20 years, we have seen so many examples of acquisitions. If you are acquiring certain companies forcefully while investing certain amount of the money, is called acquisition. Means to buy certain companies, buy the brand name of certain companies. In the last month, we have seen Byju's has bought the Whitehead Junior. So since last in a every day, if you are reading the newspaper of Economic Times, the Business Standard, so we have seen so many examples of the merger, acquisitions, and the joint venture. And apart from this, so we have certain one other strategy of what we call entering a new market, that is strategic alliance. Very new concept to enter in an international business, in an even domestic business also. So what is all about the strategic alliance? In a strategic alliance, what actually we do? Two companies work simultaneously to achieve the common goals. Okay. What actually we do in a strategic alliance? Suppose that A companies have some certain technology, B companies having some certain technology. So what we can do? We can make certain alliances for certain product for certain period of time is called strategic alliance. So in a strategic alliance, what actually we do? We do the alliances of certain strategy, not a certain company. If we are making the alliance of the company, that is called joint venture or merger. But in a strategic alliance, we are more concerned about the making the alliances of certain strategy. Means if you are having the certain expertise of the different companies, because across the globe, every companies are having certain POS, point of point of sale and point of difference, and what we call USP, unique selling point. So suppose that you just want to be take the advantage of certain competitiveness of certain company, then sometimes what actually we do, we make certain strategic alliances for certain period of the time for certain product and services. So this is all about the various modes of the international businesses we have discussed about. So if anybody is having any doubt, you can ask. I'm just giving you another 2-3 minutes to discuss about any doubt. If anyone is having any doubt, so please ask. Otherwise, yeah, we have to be conclude the today's lecture. Please revert back. Otherwise, if nobody is having any doubts, so we can conclude the today's lecture. We will meet you tomorrow, probably by the not by the 2:30 or 3:30. We'll try to arrange the tomorrow's class at 1 p.m. So nobody is responding regarding the doubts. So if nobody is having any doubt, I'm just sharing this particular PPT on whatever the WhatsApp group we have, and after this lecture. Okay, thank you so much for joining.